Hello traders, this is Rich from tradesight. This is a look at our market leading stocks for the coming session. This is for Friday, May 2nd, 2014. Well, Friday should be a little bit more interesting than today. Today was May Day in Europe, so a lot of the major European equities exchanges were closed, and it's also the day before the non-farm numbers, so we had a little lackadaisical volume today. You can see there were quite a number of deviations in volume, and they were mostly to the downside. But anyway, the NASDAQ patch here, we are a little bit skewed to the sell side as of right now. Got about another 20 minutes till the close, but certainly seeing some softness. Altera has a volume bump in open-close deviation at downside CPS. Got a deviation here in BlackBerry to the upside in volume and VWAP, but that one doesn't have a signal with it. Got a pretty strong day going in Netflix. Okay volume, but nothing too extraordinary. But we do have a downside RPS, so that should be on your list for tomorrow. Baidu also very strong today, 2.5% above the day's open. That one does not have a signal with it. Moving on to the financials, a little bit to the sell side here. Sallie Mae unusual volume after the spinoff, so that's should be taken with a grain of salt, but we did see that volume bump yesterday ahead of this. MasterCard has a contra candle setting up. That one's really weak and really pretty far below the VWAP. We also have a contra candle setting up in CME, and that one is actually strongly above the VWAP on some good volume. Taking a look at the energy names, a little bit to the sell side here, but there's no volume bumps at all. So we're doing this on fairly light volume. Not really seeing anything here for deviations either way. Onto the generals. Generals are actually a little bit better to buy. Got a couple of contra candles here. 3M's got a volume bump, but no signal with it. Got a contra candle setting up in Best Buy, but that one's on fairly low volume. Dow Chemical still moving pretty well here. This one's more than 2% below the day's open. Moving on to the housing names, we've got a volume bump in Hovnanian. That one's pretty strongly above the day's open and nicely above the day's VWAP. Got a downside CPS in Home Depot, but it's on very light volume. Norfolk Southern also has a downside CPS in the transportation group, and this one also is on light volume. And moving on to the commodities, here's kind of a mixed bag. We've got some signals on both sides. Not seeing any exceptional volume on any of the metal stocks. Potash does have a volume bump. That one's a little bit above the day's open, but there's no signal with this one. All right, folks. As always, thanks for listening. This has been Rich for tradesight.